Hi!
Hola!
How are you peeps doing?
It's nice
It's
seeing you
been a
back.
wild ride for us.
Oh my goodness.
um, so today's gonna be kind of a video on, it's gonna be a ranting video basically. It's things that's been not necessarily bothering us, but has been, on our minds and we feel like we need to talk about. Right, Mom?
Right, and we will be, even though we said we wasn't going to, we will touch base on Cody and Satori, but just a little something that came about new, and somebody that's being terribly targeted, which is totally uncalled for. So,
Alright, so, as in every video, 3 state facts. The first one is Wessington Springs, South Dakota is the site of a replica of Anne Hathaway's cottage, the house where Shakespeare's wife lived as a child. It's the only thatched building in the Midwest.
very cool fact.
And number 2 is
Lynchburg.
Lynchburg, Tennessee is where Jack Daniel's whiskey is made. However, you can't actually buy it there as Moore County, where Lynchburg is located, is a dry county. And third is King Ranch, Texas covers 1,289 square miles. This single ranch is larger than the state of Rhode Island.
Wow. Now that's something.
So that's
Okay, there's
your state fact.
Jack.
There's your 3 state facts. Now
There
let's
we are.
get down to business. Now, it took me a few minutes to think of what I was even going to say because I forgot. My mind is fucked. Anyway,
we're going to start with this stuff first and then go into our topics.
You can start with that and then I'll butt in and then.
Okay, before we start our venting / ranting on topics, we have a couple big things that happen. Well, first of all, you know that we're in the middle of planning a wedding, which is going to be coming up on the 5th of Abby and Chase. That's my other daughter and my future son-in-law. Congratulations to both of them. We love you both. Sorry you can't be here. Also on the 8th is Gabriella's birthday, so that's coming up. So there's been a lot of stuff going on. And excuse me tonight if I sound a little off. I don't know if I'm coming down with strep throat or something, but my throat has been bothering me today.
We think it's a change in the weather.
It could be. And my eyes were bothering me too, so it could be a combination of allergies and whatnot. But what was that? Last night? Or it was the night before. It was the night before. For all of you who do follow us and have subscribed, thank you again. We appreciate it. But for those of you who do follow us, you know that we also follow Bad to the Bone Paranormal, and that we absolutely love and adore Angelina. Well, she was doing a live 2 nights ago, and she was talking about some updates on the Cody and Satori thing, and they're targeting her just because she's speaking the truth, and that's kind of one of our vents too, so it kind of ties in with the rest. I hate saying all the time. We're going to have a drinking thing for that. But she's such a lovely lady, and anybody that watches Angelina, she may get angry. She speaks her mind, but apparently it's getting misconstrued as threats and harassment. Now, if any of the people that sneak onto her site purposely to get info and start trouble, if you happen to be on ours, since we are part of her site now, as far as that we comment on their lot, you guys are wrong. You're rotten what you're doing. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to bash anybody. I'm not trying to threaten anybody, but we speak our mind too, and what you're doing with Angelina is totally wrong. I mean, I know she's a big girl, she can handle herself, but I mean, you got to be fair, guys. Just leave her alone. Anybody that knows her knows she will not lay a finger on anybody. She will not harass anybody. with that being said, her topic was also some new stuff that came out. If you watch, she shows a clip from Project Fear on there. And if you watch Cody and Satori up close, you can see there's some new stuff that somebody caught and it came out, and it involves wrist clicking. And if you watch the eyes and the contact, especially Cody has with Satori, if she kind of makes a mistake, he'll kind of use his eye gestures to have her do the crackling of the hand. Now, the crackling of the wrist, Gabriella can do that. She can show you right now. She can crack her wrist, make that same sound.
I'll have to get up a little bit closer because I don't think you can hear from this far back. But I think you could probably hear
I'm sure that you heard that.
I heard it the whole way from where I
So
was.
that was brought up. I mean, you have to watch closely, but you can see him holding her wrist and pushing it in. But regardless, we said we weren't going to talk too much about Cody and Satori unless some big breaking news comes out. But anyhow, getting back to Angelina, she was doing a live broadcast. She had PDX Paranormal on there with Emmy, and she also had the G Team Paranormal on there with Patty. Now, both of these ladies are super wonderful, and by our surprise, she invited us to go on live with her. And we had a blast. We cannot thank you ladies enough. It touched us deeply that you think of us that highly, that you would invite us, and we just love all of you. Matter of fact, PDX and Patty from G Team Paranormal had a live tonight, and they were interviewing Michael Bloomfield. So if you didn't catch that, go back and watch. I'm sure you'll be able to catch the retake of it. Wonderful ladies. Just loved having our time with them. But like I said, just watch the retake on that and see what you can see about the wrist and that. And guys, whoever's spying or whoever's doing this, just leave Angelina alone. You know, she's got a lot on the table there with, trying to just get all these facts out, and that's simply what it is facts. And just, target us. I mean, because we're saying the same thing. Just, it needs to stop. Unless you can prove yourself legit, or somebody can prove you not legit, just lay off of her. And we have some suspicions on why they're targeting her too, but we're kind of not going into that because that's for her privacy. And she knows we're on your side. We back you up, Angelina. Mm-hmm. We love you, and you know that. Now, getting to the next subject, Gabriella, if you want to start. Oh, and sorry, before she starts, we have some incredible news possibly that we are working on. Now, this will affect us personally because it could get us better equipment for our investigations. It could give us maybe a chance to investigate some of these places. I know they're tearing Penhurst down, but some of the other big places out there that we can't afford to go to because we be po. But it'll give us maybe more opportunities in the future. But we are looking into a business venture that could be a big thing for other paranormal investigators, and we're keeping our fingers crossed because so far the person that I'm talking to likes everything that I proposed. But as soon as we know anything and it falls into play, we will keep you in touch. But like I said, if you're a paranormal investigator, this could be something big for you. So keep us in mind and watch for updates on that. Gabrielle, it's your show.
Alright, so now these aren't like super major subjects, like I said before. They're not like super important, but they are things that we felt like we needed to discuss because either they're getting out of hand or it's actually health risk factors in my case. So the first thing that I want to talk about is it's been brought to my attention that there are, like, little girls, like 9, 10, 11, not tweens, not teens, younger than that, who are getting these adult skincare products. Now, what's wrong with that picture?
You know and I know, but apparently the parents that's letting them do it don't know.
What's wrong with that picture
Happy.
is that those skincare products are made for adults. They are made for matured skin. When you're younger, when you are not yet a tween or even close to being a tween, your skin is very sensitive and it's not yet fully developed. This one little girl, I think she was only 10 years old. She's still around, so I don't know why I said was. But
Well, she was. She's not 10 anymore.
I don't know if she's 10 or not. She's young.
So it kind of was a proper word.
She's young, that's all I know. But in the video that I'm talking about, she was only like 10 years old. Her mom bought her the skincare product, and it had like hyaluronic acid in it, and all these things that are for adults, you know, for like aging skin and to keep your skin nice and soft and everything. Well, she used it for so long that you can see where her actual skin tone is and how it literally like faded the color from her face. So now she has to wear like bronzing drops and everything if she wants her face to look normal.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
I think that's wrong, and I think more parents should pay attention to this because it really is becoming a serious factor. If that little girl happens to get a scratch on her face from anything, it will probably get infected very quickly because her skin won't be able to heal the way that it should. And she might have a scar there for the rest of her life because her skin is literally like deteriorating even though she's very young. It's supposed to be your skin is supposed to be tight and it's supposed to be shedding for you getting older. Hers can't now because she's put all these adult products on her face that are literally melting her face off.
Well, I don't know why, too. I mean, it's the same as if you get back to beauty pageants and stuff like that. Why people have to feel that if your kid's cute, if your kid's beautiful, and you want to put them in some kind of a pageant, let them go with their natural beauty. Why do these parents feel that you got to get a little girl, and I hate to bring up the name because she's a beautiful little girl, but it's JonBenet Ramsey, beautiful little girl. Why do you need to put all that makeup on these little girls and make them look older and that just because they're in a beauty pageant? Love them and put them in these pageants from their own natural beauty because everybody's beautiful in their own way, but you don't need all this makeup and that, and just wonder why all these crazy things happen in the world. Well, I don't know why parents do this. I don't know why parents do it.
It's really been bothering me because I've actually seen these little girls who are supposed to be like 9, 10, 11, 12, so like within that age group, even sometimes younger, who are putting on these adult skincare products and their skin is literally melting off. Like, not like gruesome, like gross, and you can see your flesh and your blood and everything, but you know what I mean. Like, it's actually tearing off layers of your skin that you need to grow older.
Yeah, and I agree with her, and don't get us wrong, we don't mean that, little girls are little girls. They have their little tea parties, they have their little, that, Mommy, I want to look just like you, and they want to put their little makeup and that on, but they have these little makeup kits specifically for very small children,
And they have skincare products for children, too. They have very sensitive skin products that you could even, like put in an adult product bottle and make your kid think that, hey, this is an adult product, but it's actually going to not only save you money, but it's going to save you from your daughter or son who wants to put on makeup or wants to do any type of skincare any issues with their skin healing, because it's literally just like deteriorating their skin, and people really need to take this seriously.
But the problem is too, and I hate to say it, with this day and age where two parents work or have to work to support the household, or let's go in the opposite, that there's only a one parent household where there's only one parent raising the kids, they tend to let the kids run the house instead of them being the parent and the child being the child.
That's true.
Excuse me. I said I'm having throat problems. It shouldn't be that way. When you have a young child like that and they take a tantrum and said, I want this makeup, I want this product, it's up to the parent to tell them, no, this is for adults, this can harm you. It's no different than if you go and you're crossing a road with with your child, and you have to hold their hand or watch them when they cross the road so they don't get hit by a car. It's all a safety aspect. If you're, you look out for your child regardless, and it's just ridiculous.
I feel like, when you're a kid, you're supposed to be watching cartoons and things like that. You're not supposed to be watching influencers, because God knows what that influencer is going to teach your kid.
What are you doing, Pam?
And it can either get your kid in really big trouble or the influencer in trouble, because they actually followed along with whatever their influencer said. And I feel like if you're a parent, which obviously I'm not trying to tell you how to parent, and I don't want this to sound like the wrong way or something, but I feel like the parents need to put cartoons on for their kid, or have them go outside and play with their brothers and sisters, or by themselves, or invite friends over or something. Let them be kids. Stop making them grow up faster than they should.
But the problem, again, it stems back to if it's a single parent household or both parents work. Sometimes the parents don't know what these kids are doing, but they should monitor it. There are ways that you can monitor what the kids are watching and doing. Now, when you're hearing and seeing kids on some of these videos and the way they talk, and some of them like 10, 11 years old, some that haven't reached puberty yet, and the things that come out of their mouth will spin your head. Why are they allowing them to do this?
You would not believe, especially if you play any type of video game nowadays and you're female, you would not believe the little kids that get on there and they're acting rude towards women, and they're also just acting rude in general, and they're swearing and cussing, and they have no respect at all. And you're just like, where are your parents? And they're like, my parents don't care.
Yeah, they don't. I'm taking that back, because I don't want to get bashed for that, because there's a lot of good parents, they do care. Again, they're just not there 24 hours a day with them because they have to work, or they're taking care of the kid by themselves. But again, that's where, thank God, my girls, my all of my kids, they know that I talk to them about anything. I don't care what the subject is. I would talk to them about anything, and I would check on them and see what they're up to, and they knew what was good and what was wrong. If the parents, even if they're not home, you really, guys, seriously, talk to your children. That's the biggest thing. Communicate with your children, because in the end, something, you're good. In the end, it might not be something good that'll come out of it.
I will say that when we were younger, me and my sister, we would always download apps on our computer, or because we were homeschooled for a little while after we couldn't stand going to public school anymore. But besides that, we would download apps on our computers, and I think we had just gotten phones to communicate. And our friend, I'm not going to say her name or anything, but our old friend, she actually came to our house, downloaded this one app on our phone, and it was a chatting app. Well, little did we know that she was literally texting. We were only like probably 9, 10.
Oh, you guys were young, yeah. I'm gonna
8,
say
9, or 10.
Yep.
Somewhere in that age group. And she downloaded this app on the phone. It was a chatting app where you could chat with anyone around the world, basically. And she was talking to this 35-year-old man. I didn't know. None of us knew. Because why would I have the reason to talk to a 35-year-old man at age 8? Well, the next day we found out because the freaking police came to our house, and he was kind of an asshole because he was like, how could you not know what your friend's last name is? And
if they're your friend.
He was yelling at her too.
Yeah.
He was like, aren't you watching what your child is doing on her phone? And like all these horrible things. And we were like, how is it our fault? It was my freaking friend who decided to do that. So ever since I don't let anybody touch my phone unless, it's
and
family.
How can you question? I mean, you might have some really, really good friends, but like I had coworkers to this day. I can honestly say I don't know what their last name was, and we were really good friends at my place of business that I was. You just, it's like, it's going to sound crazy, but it's the honest to God's truth. I did not know up until I got in high school what my mom and dad's first name was. And that's the honest to God's truth, because to me they were mom and dad. Because somebody one day after high school said, what's your mom's name? What's your dad's name? I said, Mom, Dad. And they're like, no, what's their name? I don't know. And they laughed at me. They made fun of me, but it's because I learned that respect. They were always mom and dad to me. I never had the need to know that, because things back when I was growing up, it's not like now you need to know your parents' name, this and that for practically everything. At that time, you really didn't need to know that.
Yeah, when I was younger,
Yeah, so,
you had to know what your parents' name and your address and a whole bunch of stuff when you were very young. But, getting back to the topic, I feel like parents, yes, you should watch your kids. Yes, you should monitor what they're doing. But don't allow them to have products that are made for adults.
and if you can't, just communicate. Communicate with your children. Be open with them. Talk to them about everything.
Be I want to say that because that's going to sound rude. I was going to say, like, be a good parent and tell your kid, like, hey, sweetie, this isn't good for you. This could hurt you if you use it, so I can't buy it for you. I'm so sorry. But instead of buying this for you, I can buy this for you. It's basically the exact same thing, and it'll do the exact same thing. And it's safer.
Yeah.
It is safer.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
Yep. I agree.
All right, I'm done with that rant.
Okay, my rant. Most of you already know that we used to live in South Carolina. Last year we bought a house up here in Pennsylvania, so we're back in PA. Yay, yay, yay. But it so far has not come with all the perks that we remember when we moved back. And here's, if you followed me on my Facebook page, you'll know what I'm talking about. Tax time, April 15th, you had to file your taxes. Well, we file our taxes early every year. Good old PA, we got our federal. I'm saying again. We got our federal. We got that back, everything good. South Carolina, we got that state refund back. Now, none of these were big because our children are all grown, so we don't get really a lot, but we do get something. South Carolina, we got our refund back pretty quickly. Pennsylvania, we're waiting. A month passed. 2 months has passed. What's going on? 2.5 months where they're like, what is going on with our Pennsylvania refund? Again, it's not very much, but hey, what's going on with it? So we call up the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue. We find out, we give the information, and I kind of thought it was weird because every time I checked on it, it says first it said 8 to 12 weeks, and then at one time it said wait 12 to 16 weeks, and if not, contact the department. But at one point it said 8 to 12 weeks, and it says unless we're doing our routine review, if there's an issue, you will get a letter in the mail. So the first time we actually got through the line, which after about 300 automatic phone calls to get to it, gentleman come on, and we said, we didn't get our refund yet. Everybody else that we know got theirs probably about 5 weeks. Why haven't we gotten it yet? And he says, well, it's saying that it's being reviewed, and we're there, oh geez, does that mean that it's being red flagged? And the guy checked, he says, no, it's not showing any red flags on your taxes at all. So just, give it a little bit. If not, then call back. Well, a couple days later, we called back and we talked to another representative. The representative said it is being flagged because they said that we claimed Pennsylvania tax credit, but we were not residents. Well, and we got a letter in the mail saying that we claimed a Pennsylvania resident tax credit, and we aren't residents. And my husband said, how could we not be residents when we bought a house last year here? My husband worked, he paid taxes, he worked hard and paid taxes. Why aren't we getting this refund? And we didn't even know about any credit. Funny thing is my son lived with us, and he got his Pennsylvania refund just like that, and he's living in the same house. So they're still having it under review because they claim that they totally took it away. They zeroed it out, so our refund they took from us because they said we got a Pennsylvania tax credit for not being a resident. We were not a resident. So that's my gripe, and it's really up, to be honest with you, it's pissing me off big time because my husband had to come up here instead of we bought this house in June of last year, but he had to come up in May. He had to stay up here for almost 6 weeks by himself without his family to secure this house for us. At that time, he worked a job up here. He paid Pennsylvania taxes. When we bought the house, we all moved in together. He was a Pennsylvania resident from June till December, and we still are. Paid those taxes in, worked his ass off to pay those taxes in, and now they're saying they took it away from us because it was a tax credit and we weren't residents. So that's my gripe. So you guys, you can comment on here, let us know what you think of that. I think it's bullshit, and we had to file an appeal, so now we're playing the little, okay, let's twiddle our thumbs here and watch them come back and say, guess what? You're not getting nothing because we found out you weren't residents. My husband had to send our deed, he had to send bills, he had to send all kinds of proof that we were indeed a resident here. But let's see what happens. So that's my event, my first one.
Alright, getting on to my second one, which will be my last. Well, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, this isn't going to be a real long one. It's going to be kind of eventing, but we just wanted to update everybody on some stuff, the big news. Or thank you to Angelina and Bad to the Bone, and Patty and Emmy from G Team Paranormal and PDX Paranormal. We'll leave a link in our description or whatever when this is posted, and a big thank you to them. But so it won't be a real long podcast.
Alright, so my next one is JoJo Siwa. So some of you are probably like, oh my god, not her, because there's drama going about her now again. Now I really don't care what happened between her and her exes. I could give 2 fucks. I really don't. Now the thing is, she just released a new a new song, not YouTube video, like I was going to say. She released a new song called Karma. Now, people are getting this all wrong. This is like, you can do your research, you can check where the song came from, who was supposed to have it, who didn't have it, who now has it, and all that type of stuff. Now, people are accusing her of stealing the song from this Tina, what was her name? Give me 1 second. Let me do my research.
And for anybody who watches, as you know, we do our research. No, we're human. We do make our mistakes. Like I made the one about the Coca-Cola thing, and we were called out on it. And thank you for calling us out on it and correcting us when we re-corrected what was what we said. But we do our research, but again, like I said, we are human and we make mistakes. So, but she has done some really in-depth research on this JoJo. Now, we weren't, I can't say we were both big fans of JoJo. Matter of fact, I wasn't crazy over her for a while. But then I don't know if anybody caught her on Special Forces. And when she went on Special Forces, that girl's got some balls on her, I'm telling you. That's all I can say.
Yeah, we won respect for her.
Yeah, we did. We won some big respect for her. So.
Now, I don't know why Satina. Her name is Britt Smith. She's the one who originally owned rights to the song. She made the song. It did not get published. It did not get released. Now, Miley Cyrus was supposed to be the second person to take that song, but she said, fuck that, I don't want it. JoJo Siwa now has rights to the song. Her publisher bought rights to the song, and now it's hers. And she switched the lyrics around some and made it her own. So people are like, oh, she said that she wrote it. No, she didn't. She never said that. She said that it was a ad-lib, I think. Was it?
I don't know. You did the research.
It was an ad-lib of the original song, and she said, no, this is going to piss some people off, and I really don't care. And she has a podcast, and people are making fun of her. This is her growing up era, okay? She just turned 20, I think, a few months ago. She's trying to prove to the world that she's not the same person that she was on Dance Moms. That she's not the same person who wrote, I'm gonna come back like a boomerang and all these little kitty songs. She's not that same person. She's, this is gonna get a little bit into the LGBTQ community. She's a lesbian. And she is, she's proud of it. She's proud of being a lesbian. And she's trying to show the world who she actually is. Not who her mom controlled her to be. Not who the world wanted her to be. Who she is. So.
But you and I have talked about this. If they're going to have a hissy over JoJo in this song, then other than people making fun of Miley Cyrus about her, the way she talks and the way she sings, how gruff her voice is, why aren't they bitching and complaining about the song that she more or less copied off of...
oh, they were.
Oh, were they?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't know that
they were.
But they kind of let up on it. I don't think they
are
her like they are with JoJo, though.
But
Am I wrong? Or?
It's because she actually had to explain herself and say, yes, I did get permission from Bruno Mars to publish a song because it does sound a little bit like his, but it's my own lyrics, so I really didn't need rights to it.
People have been stealing songs, but the problem with this world these days is nobody can come up with something new of their own. And we talked about this in our movie thing that we did when we did our movie video, that instead of coming up with something new and exciting, they're taking these movies that were made years ago and they're revamping them or just remaking them instead of coming up with new ideas. And it's just getting ridiculous. But come on, it's been going on for years and years and years. This thing with JoJo should be no surprise to anybody. People's been doing it for years and years and years.
Yeah, I don't understand why people are slandering her. She's a growing person. She was a kid star. She learned that it's not all that it's hyped up to be. She decided to become her own person, and Miley Cyrus pretty much did the same thing. She was in her little, like, Hannah Montana era, and then she transformed to the Wrecking Ball era, which, that was just interesting. But now she's in her, like, revenge era, and that's pretty much what JoJo Siwa is doing. She's kind of like breaking it up from her kid thing, and now she's an adult and she's doing what she feels like she needs to do to prove herself to people that she's not that sensitive girl that she was on Dance Moms and other things.
Little FYI for Dance Moms, if you go back some of the older videos when Abby Lee was there, And I don't know if JoJo was there at that time, but it had, what's her name? What are their names? Mackenzie and Maddie and all those girls, Chloe and Nia,
not Tia.
all of those girls. My husband was driving the motor coach bus for them. Woo-woo. So he is caught on some of the videos there. So if you go back there, you'll see my hubby.
It's way back though.
Yeah, it is.
What season was that?
It was some of the early seasons. It was when she was in the Pittsburgh location. And he also, I don't know if he transported I think for some reason, I think he transported even the candy apples on one episode.
So. Yeah, I think
but if you go back and catch it, he is the motor coach driver on those those seasons there. So that was pretty cool. I just figured I'd bring that up.
But getting back on topic, the whole JoJo Siwa slander things needs to stop. It really does. Like I said before, she's just trying to prove to people that she's not the same person that she was, that she's trying to grow up into this new person and she's trying to become a better person, but people won't let her be, which is going to, the more that you bully somebody, the more that they become the villain that you didn't want in the first place. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. But she even had a podcast. I don't remember what the podcast is, sorry. But she did say, like, one of her lyrics is, I was a bad girl, I did some bad things, and people are making fun of her for that lyric, saying, what did she do? Go on Dance Moms, what did she do? Sing Boomerang? Like, all back from her childhood.
Well, it gets back to, like, even at the beginning of this.
But she said that she has no connection to those lyrics at all. She probably should have got rid of those lyrics, but she felt that it made her feel badass that she was the adult that she is.
But she bought the rights to him, so even that she didn't need to. She changed them a little bit, but she bought the rights to him, so they're her lyrics now, in essence, because, like, it get back to the beginning, like when I said when they were bashing saying Angelina was threatening people and stuff. Just leave people freaking alone already. I mean, come on, I don't understand this shit.
Why can't people be nice to each other anymore? It's always, especially if there's a big celebrity out there that does one wrong thing and it's not even that major, like JoJo Siwa making a song. She literally just made a song, and people are like, oh my god, first, they were making fun of her dance moves, which she said was exaggerated. That way people could wait for... It was all promotion to her music video. And she did that on purpose. Well, people are making fun of the dancing, and then they're making fun of the choreographers who were for the dancing and the music video, which were for, like, Descendants and some Disney Channel shows. It's a whole big thing that needs to stop. It really does, because it's all over TikTok, it's all over my For You page. Like, I really don't care about the drama. I don't. It's getting annoying. Just let her be. Let her live her life.
You can't come up here, Pee-wee. I know what you're going to do. I know every video you have to be in, but you don't... Pee-wee. Now you're blocking it out. Pee-wee, get over here. Come on over here.
Pee-wee, you're blocking it?
You can't be in today's video. Come on over here.
You made it gray out.
Come on over here. Be a good boy.
Babs, you made it gray out.
Okay, so
that's the end of my rant.
And if you have any comments on any of these, please. I mean, again, we welcome all comments. We've had some wonderful comments, here lately. And if anything, suggestions, whatever, we welcome them. And so far, you guys have been fantastic. My next vent, whatever you want to call it, is solicitors. Why is it that once you turn 50, that you get letter after letter or phone call after phone call about final expenses? Like, we know we're not getting any younger. We understand that, and by the time you turn 50, don't you think we thought of, hey, we're getting older, it's probably time for us to sit down with family, our spouse, and try to figure out what route anybody's going to take after you pass? Like, why do you have to have and call up or send letter after letter to people about we're here, we want to talk to you about your final expenses? Once or twice is fine, but he has to get out of there. But okay, he'll be good now. Constantly calling up and harassing, it's just getting ridiculous. And that's just even solicitors in particular. I was getting health insurance on Medicare because I'm getting close to that beautiful age of Medicare. Call after call, Medicare, Medicare, Medicare. So I sort of getting to the point that when they call up, I'd go, lurking spirits paranormal, you attract them and we extract them, and click that hang up. Because I got to get rid of them. Well, I mean, we're not running the paranormal business, so to say, or even though we have that, you have to do something to stop them from freaking calling. It's ridiculous.
It really is.
And then it's letters, calls, emails, like they just don't stop.
Nope.
Pennsylvania police troopers, again, I admire police. I've supported them in the past. They will not take no for an answer. I literally told them, hey, we just moved here. We're financially strapped right now. I have donated in the past. I will be love to donate again in the future. But they don't take that. How about this small amount?
Well, sorry. And well, with the solicitors, they have different numbers. All on a
robocall.
If you block one number, the next one from the next state will come and call you and have the exact same thing. So it's like you can never get rid of them unless you block a number every time it calls you.
Well, my husband worked at a telemarketing. He was a telemarketer for a while. So was I for the Red Cross, but it was telerecruiter. It wasn't really like telemarketers, as you know. But I also worked as the secretary at a telemarketing company. And what you need to do is, since it is on a robocall like that, and it does go through state to state to state, and it'll just continue, what you do is you tell them, please put me on your national do not call list. Don't just say do not call list. Say national.
That doesn't work, though.
But what you do, though, a lot of people don't know, and I've known people that got for it, mark down the day that you said that, and keep track of every time they call. Now, you're supposed to give them 6 weeks. Now, I don't know if it's changed over the course of the past, I don't know how many years, but you're supposed to say, please place me on your national do not call list. Mark down the date and the time that you did that, and give them 6 weeks. After that 6 weeks, each time they call you, mark it down. If they keep it up, contact FCC or Department of Consumer Affairs or something like that. I think it's FCC. Contact them, tell them that you are still getting harassed by these telemarketers. Give them the list of calls. You can get some reparations for it if they continue when you told them to put them on your national do not call list. So I don't know if people know that. I know people that have gotten some reparations because they just did not stop, and it became harassment. So just kind of keep that in mind there.
And I have one more rant. I don't know if you have any more rants.
I don't think so. My last one will be a big thank you, and then my quote of the day then, of course.
So. Alright, so my last rant is, you guys should know that I'm 21 years old. I know I look younger. I've been told it so many times.
Almost 22?
Yep, I'm about to turn 22 May on the 8th. But it's been bothering me that some of the older people, especially in the area that we're in, and I'm not going to say businesses or people in general, but some of the people in this area have been very rude to my sister, me, and her fiance because of our age. Like, they treat us differently because we're younger than them, but we're adults, but we're treated differently because we're younger than them, which pisses me off. Now, I will say, I was working at this one place when we first moved down here. Well, I literally only stayed there for a day because of the shit that was going on there. This woman, literally, the whole restaurant is a health risk. But she literally served a milkshake to this elderly couple. Pee-wee.
Pee-wee, behave. Come on over here. Come on. Here you are again, taking the show, you little
You're
ham.
being bad.
You're being a ham.
You're being bad.
Okay.
Stop being bad. Alright, lay down. Lay your butt down. Lay down.
Pee-wee.
Lay down.
Go ahead.
It was a health risk because this lady who worked there, she literally served an elderly couple a milkshake that she took a sip out of with the same straw and everything. She literally served it to them. And I was like, that's bad enough. She made the milkshake with expired ice cream, expired milk, and I know for a fact that that machine has not been cleaned out for God knows how long. It was disgusting. She served it to the elderly couple. They drank it, and they didn't know. I was gonna say something, but I really wanted to keep that job, even though it was only paying me like $3 an hour, unless I got tips from the people.
Which she kept.
Which that's another reason why I left. She was supposed to be training me, but instead of letting me, you're being too cute. Instead of letting me actually take care of the customers like I was supposed to for the tips, she took over the table and she took the tips. So I stayed there for a day and I quit. I was like, we contact the owner and we were like, because me and my sister were both working there. We contacted the owner and we were like, hey, I don't know if you know what's going on right now, because she always said that it was hard for her to keep people there. She didn't understand why they were leaving within a day. Well, we explained to her, we were like, hey, you're wondering why? Well, it's probably because of blah, blah, blah. All the things I just said. But anyways, getting back to the topic, because I kind of went off board, but it was on topic. Recently, we had a little situation, with people at a place. I won't say where, and I won't say who. But this one woman in particular, she has been, excuse my language, a royal bitch to me, my sister, and her fiance, ever since we joined. And she will belittle us, and so Chase recently, he had an accident at work where he hit his head with a steel beam, and he suffered a concussion, but he didn't realize until a day later, because he had a beaming headache he could not get rid of.
A beaming headache.
Beaming headache, whatever the hell that means. That he could not get rid of. Well, he found out by one of the fire people that he did have a concussion because his one pupil wasn't even reacting to the light, and obviously that's a sign. So he called off work and he typed in the chat, because we have a chat, hey, I will need somebody to pick up my car because I'm not going to leave it at this place.
Kind of have to watch what you say, because I don't
I know.
Yeah,
I'm watching.
You don't want to get in trouble.
Because I'm not going to leave it at this place, blah, 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 blah. Well, this woman, she came on, she's like, that happened the day prior, you were perfectly fine to drive, put your big boy pants on and drive, or something like that. And
take care of it, something like that.
Yeah, and this isn't the first thing that she's like belittled us with, but it really pisses me off that younger people, even though they're adults, yes, I'm a young adult, yes, we're young adults, but
well, I think where she's going on that too is when the comments was made, she's an older woman. And when the comments was made, she's the one that said, "Oh, put your big boy pants on," And it came back, instead of anybody saying anything to her because she's an older lady, they targeted Abby, Gabriella, and Chase instead of saying anything to her. They just
Yeah, they just let her go.
Now, most people, if you have any common decency, if I know somebody got hurt to the point where they got a concussion, even if I'm thinking something shitty, the very first thing out of my mouth is going to be, by the way, are you okay? Like, how you doing? I know you have a concussion, but how are you feeling? How are, have you been checked? How are things going? But just straight for the jugular bash.
Yeah, she just completely came for us, and there was no reason for that. But where I was going with when we moved down here with the job that I was talking about, I was about to get picked up because we just moved here. I didn't know anybody in the area. I didn't know if it was a safe place to walk by myself because, it's within walking distance. And I called up my mom. I was like, hey, Mom, you gotta come pick me up. The bitch looks over at me and she's like, oh, you need your mommy to drive you home?
Well, here's the thing. The place is not too far from us. It is in walking distance, but I don't care if my girls are 21. I don't care if they're 35. I don't care if they're 45. You get a single young woman walking home. Now, we're talking about in the dark. It was not in the daylight. It was in the dark. I told them, don't you even think of walking home. We don't know this area that well yet. It doesn't matter because it's dark. I don't want to see you girls walking home. Just call me. It's just a hop, skip, and jump. I just need to hop in the car, go down, pick you up. No big deal. But she had to make, you got to call your mommy up. I was just reading here. Matter of fact, it was just yesterday. In the broad daylight, I think it was a 19 or 21-year-old girl. She was just walking out of her house down the, I think she was going either to their mailbox or it was just right in front of her house, and somebody drove by, picked her up, and snatched her. Right there in broad daylight. Yep. So then you get a snide remark like that, like you need your mommy to pick you up.
Especially when you are female this day and age, you gotta watch out. You always have to have your phone on you. If you have music in your ears, at least take one out. That way you can hear everything that's going around you. Be aware of who's behind you, who's in front of you, who's beside you, who's all around you, because you never know what can happen. But my whole point is, she was being a bitch, and she's like, oh, you need your mommy to come pick you up? And I just looked at her, and I was like, huh. And then I went home, because I was not.
That's just bullshit.
And then that's when we called up. We were like, hey, you don't realize what's happening at your restaurant right now.
Sit down.
And it's really bad, because...
There he goes again. Hey, lay down, buddy. Pee-wee.
They would refrigerate stuff. They would, nothing was fresh.
But they claimed that everything was fresh at that restaurant.
They claimed that everything was fresh. They would refrigerate spaghetti. They would refrigerate meatballs. Nothing was fresh. Nothing at all. And on top of that, the salads that she would make, she wouldn't put a glove on. She wouldn't wash her hands. She'd pick up the lettuce, put it in the dish, and then everything else, put it in the dish, bare hands, not washed them. Serve it to the customer. It was a OSHA violation if I'd ever seen one.
Yeah.
But, my coffee. But, yeah, I just wish that, especially the people around here, would treat the younger adults like adults. Not like children, and not like people who don't know what the fuck they're doing, because I happen to be pretty smart.
I'm very proud and I'm privileged because my kids are smart. They've matured early. They've learned quickly right and wrong. I hope that they learned respect, which I believe, they have, and I think that's the only reason why she didn't say anything back to her or cause any problems.
In my head, believe me, in my head.
Yeah.
My head,
but it isn't right.
Something.
I mean, you're going to get your kid, I'm not going to say kids, but you're going to get your adult young children, 21, 22, 23, that act like they're 10. But like I said, my kids, all of them, I'm very proud. I'm very privileged. They all, at by the time they were teenagers, acted very mature, very responsibly. So don't treat everyone just because some have not grown up yet. We know somebody that's 20 or 21. I think he's 20 and kind of acts pretty immature at time. And I don't want to go into any direction on that because that's just not me. But that's case in hand that you can be 20 and act like a 10-year-old at times and get yourself in all kind of trouble, or you can be 15 but you can be responsible like a 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old. So it just, just don't just judge all kids or all young adults like they're little kids just because some of them decide that they want to be assholes.
Yeah, we have a lot of, it might not seem like it, but we have a lot of responsibility, and taking care of the dogs, and I've been trying to find a job. It's not easy. I don't seem like I have like social anxiety or that I'm shy or anything. Yes, I still speak up my mind in public if somebody bitches at me or whatever for what I'm wearing.
Well, if you see the area where we live in, we're in a very rural community. There's not really much here. In our area, we have 2 restaurants, I think. We have a bank. We have $1 General, which was closed down for almost 2 months, I think, and they just reopened back up. We have a post office, of course. We have a library. But there's really, if you have to travel at least half an hour or so just to get to like any type of a bigger city where there's like a Walmart, department stores or anything like that. So it's not easy.
And with all the stuff around the house that has to be done, and my dad having work and things like that, I don't have my driver's license. I don't have my permit either. Yeah, I know, it's sad. I'm gonna be 22, don't have my permit or my license, whatever.
Oh, wow.
But it's hard for me to get a job because of my social anxiety and me being afraid to even go anywhere with people thinking, oh, she's just a dumb young adult.
See, that's one of the reasons why we started this, because we both have our inhibitions, and hers is more panic attacks and anxiety. Mine's just mainly self-esteem, although I was a manager of a company and everything, and that I'm trying to break out of that because my self-esteem is just horrible. But that's just a whole other subject we'll get into sometime in the future. The whole bottom line is, please do not judge her. Don't judge any of my children. Don't judge anybody's children if they don't happen to have a driver's license by the time they're 21. If you're not living with the people, then don't open up your mouth. You don't know the circumstances. I will tell you this much. This girl, all I need to do, and because she worries about me a lot, because I've had not major health issues, but I do have some health issues, lung issues and stuff like that I'm dealing with, and all I need to do is click my finger, and this girl right here is by my side helping me every step of the way, and so are my other children, Abby and Eric. All I need to do is click my finger. They're there to help me. Matter of fact, I'm even going to include Chase in with it. Chase is a good guy. If I need something, and he could be just coming off of work and tired as hell, but if he can do it for me, he will. So just don't judge. If you're not living with us, you don't know the circumstances, don't judge people. That's why we started this. And again, we speak our mind. We tell you how we feel. So please don't judge. It's not your place to judge. You worry about your own problems, your own family. Don't worry about us.
One of these days, we might go on live and discuss, more about ourselves. If you want to know more about us, and why we decided to make this channel, and just like things about life, if you want to just talk about things going on in life, if you want answers that you think we might have, we're gonna try to go live one of these days and have you people do like a Q&A. We'll answer the questions that you throw at us, or we'll
And
answer
we
comments.
will get personal if you want us to. Not too personal, but there are very deep scars that both of us in particular have that we're trying to break through. So it could get emotional, but we'll be as honest and open with you as we can be. That's what this channel is all about. But again, that'll be something in the future, because it is something that's really deep with us, and it's really hard for us to get into it. But that'll be your decision if you want us to go. Now we can still do a live though and talk about something else. So it's just not that. But I'm pretty sure that. Is there anything else you want to say?
I think it's all.
We're gonna, as everybody knows, I end with a quote. But before I end with a quote, Angelina, I'm hoping you're watching. You know we love you. We both cannot thank you enough for inviting us to your live the other night. That really touched us and meant a lot to
You
us.
would not believe how much we were fangirling.
Oh my goodness. And introducing us to Patty and Emmy, which we will put those links down when she does. We don't do editing, but she'll put like sometimes little funny things she'll add in there.
I'll try.
Like she might do an count for me, who knows. I mean, she did that in one of our videos before. But we will put your info down in there. But we just want to thank you for that, because that meant a lot for us to invite us, and not only invite us, but to introduce us to those other two lovely women. Just don't let people bash you. You know we got your back. We love you, and it's getting ridiculous that you're being targeted the way you are. And I think those who are targeting you, they're saying you're doing the threatening and harassing. Well, they're saying it because they know they're the ones that's actually doing the threatening and harassing, and it's getting ridiculous, and they're assholes. I'm sorry. They can target me for saying that. I don't really fucking care.
We didn't say their names, so
yeah,
they don't even know what we're talking about.
But anyhow, Angelina, this one's for you. And the quote is from William Shakespeare, and it says, "To thine own self be true." And Angelina, you're true to yourself. We love you. Big hearts to you. And with that being said, tune in.
And peace out.